Welcome back to Utopia Talks, my friends. This week we are joined by our favourite jewel-encrusted, eye-patch-wearing producer, DJ, songwriter, drummer, vocalist, rave provider, classically trained artist. Did I miss anything out? They've been causing a stir in dance music, and they're bringing a new live energy to their reimagined style of high energy rave cowboy music. I got that from their Instagram bio. It's Bianco.
Hi.
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you, isn't it?
Yeah, this has been a long time coming.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, I feel like, when did we first meet? The last couple of years?
Yeah, like a year and a half ago, I think.
Yeah, purely through your music.
Yeah, through music, and then I came to a fabric night.
Yeah, oh my God.
And I brought Mary Drop-ins.
Big up Mary Drop-ins.
Yep.
Big up Mary Drop-ins. Bianco, how are you?
I'm good. I enjoyed an autumn walk today, guys.
Oh,
I know.
That's very like American, like soaking up
Yeah.
the Britishness of
Fall.
September. Oh, fall.
Fall. Wait, do you guys say fall?
No.
No.
Yeah, obviously you're based here now, originally from New York and LA, but you've been in London kind of back and forth, but mainly focusing here.
Yep.
Sonically as well, I feel like you're very inspired by the UK scene.
Yes, of course. I'm so inspired by the UK scene, though I have to say, like, Amsterdam and Berlin are stealing my heart recently. But honestly, they especially like the scene that was here too, like in the early 2000s and stuff, that has like shaped so much of the way I produce now.
Okay, nice. Well, I think I want to go into music, but I want to like just get some context for people who haven't heard of you before. And I guess like where it all started and what you're known for. If people don't know, Bianco, I mentioned it in the intro, like you kind of do this hybrid DJ thing with live playing like drums and keys and synths and vocals. You might have seen some of Bianco's videos going viral on Instagram. You wear an eye patch when you're playing.
Yeah, at night too.
At night?
Yeah.
Why at nighttime?
Because if it's flat light, my brain can kind of shut off the information from the bad eye, from my broken eye. But if at night there's like a lot more spotlights like this, or like red lights especially, it will smear. Like it looks smeared and all like double imaged and stuff. So it's better to just like cover it up. So like at night it's a lot more disorienting.
Okay.
Than like if I'm outside in the daytime.
No way.
Are these lights okay, by the way?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay,
it's
cool.
fine. I'm not trying to do anything precise.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah, you might have seen some of Bianca's videos online, and you've just done a tune as well with Marlon Hofstad.
Yes.
If you want me, touch my body,
Do it like you
mean it.
Yep.
Which I'm really excited that it's now out, because I remember when you told me about it and I heard it and I lost my shit.
Major collab.
And that is a major collab. You're both in that kind of like trancey 150, what is it, worlds right now.
Hard groove,
it makes
baby.
sense. Hard groove, whatever you want to call it. How did that collab come about? I think let's start there.
Oh my God. I don't know. Maybe I manifested it. Like I honestly, there's nobody out there that from like a community and from a music perspective that I guess was more influenced by in the past year of like 2 years of like finding my sound than Marlon Hofstad and what he's created with Club Heartbroken. And so like I think he was just so top of mind, you know, like as I was like, and I was listening to his music so much, and then I created this song and I brought it to my A&Rs at Ultra. The vocal, I created the vocal and like a different instrumental arrangement around it, and they were like, "This is great. Like, who would be your dream collaborator?" And the only person I said was Marlon Hofstad. But like, I guess I'm like open to other options. But Marlon Hofstad, and then they sent it to him, and he listened to it, and he was like, "Yes."
Wow.
It was literally just that.
Had you met before that point?
No, we had not even like interacted on social media or anything. And then we have since, of course, like met and become friends. And we're just like, man, it was like meant to be. Like, it's like such an easy friendship. And even like with his team around him and stuff, everybody's like super easy. And like, it feels like like it'll be a long collaborative friendship. But yeah, it was just, I don't know. I just said it. And then I guess props to Ultra. They made it happen. Ultra was like, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. And they did.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes so much sense, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it was really exciting though. I mean, I honestly didn't even give them another option.
Maybe that's what you got to do. I think it's the Aries in you, my friend. Okay, so let's take it back then. So when did you move to the UK? Was that in the last couple of years?
So I've been coming to the UK since 2017, on and off for like longer periods of time. Back before I could sustain myself as a musician financially, I had a day job and I like tended to be the American ambassador who would come over here and like help and run the British office and whatever in London. So I would like come for like a month at a time, right? I felt way more at ease like in this city and in this scene and with this music and with the people a lot. I mean, I still have like phenomenal American friends. I don't mean to write them off, but like it was just like everything just felt like it fit like a lot more. And I'm realizing life is just a series of those moments. Like it's like you go and you're somewhere and then you're like, I'm supposed to be here a lot more. Like I need to spend my energy there. So I've been doing that since 2017. And then during the pandemic in 2021, I was like, I'm just moving.
Wow.
Yeah. So in 2022, I got my first flat. And I've been here, like mostly here. I still like go back to LA. If I'm touring in America, I'll stay in LA in between dates, like on the weekends. But yeah, 2021 was really when I like became like more than 6 months out of the year.
Was there like a certain moment, like with the music scene here, where it felt like it clicked, like a certain gig or club that you went to?
Yes, actually, I was like really, I guess I was a bit drunk. I was drunk and I wasn't done, right? Like, and I was walking back to my flat in Dalston and I was walking up Kingsland Road and I was like, I'm not done. And I forget it was Michelle Minetti. It was Femme Fresh at Dalston Superstore.
We love Femme Fresh.
Literally the best night in London.
I know. And I was like, I had met Michelle in the past through Rich, through Demi Riquissimo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I told them I would stop by. I'm just going to do it. I'm not done. I'm not done tonight, right? And I went into the basement and Faf was playing.
Oh, I love Faf.
I know. And I had no clue. Because like, imagine me, like this little like American person that like, Faf was especially 2 years ago was an artist that you would know if you were from the UK, right? Or especially if you were from London and in the queer scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd never even heard of them, right? And I'm in the basement and they're just the joy emanating from them as a duo, just like playing, like, I'm like, these people are in love with each other, or they're just like, love so much what they're doing. And it was just like the most like euphoric acid set. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm moving here. I was more inspired by that one set than I had ever seen at any point in America watching a DJ, like an American DJ. And that was also when I was like, them and Octa Octa, seeing Octa Octa and Eris Drew for the first time, I was like, I want to DJ. Like, we'll talk about this, but I'm a multi-instrumentalist and I had never thought of decks as instruments. It just like hadn't like but those two performances, like those two sets were when I realized, oh, it's just another instrument that like it's like playing like synths, right? Like, but I like those two sets just made me want to move here and soak it all up.
Oh my God. Okay, hands up who's had an epiphany in the Dalston Superstore basement.
Everybody's hands in the air.
One or two.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I absolutely love that.
I mean, your face just lit up telling that as well.
I know, Fab. Gosh, I'm like so happy to see them like continue to come up and up because I'm like, y'all, I'm only here because of you.
Wow.
I mean, not only, but like, honestly.
No, that's really, really special.
That was the trigger.
I love that. And then, so in terms of like producing and like properly DJing, so when did that all start?
Okay,
for
so
dance music.
So after I graduated uni, I was in a band, right? So it was like alt rock, indie rock, and bands are just perpetually broke. We're always broke, right? So I had to learn how to do all the playback stuff. So I was running all of our playback, all of our like I would do all like the samples for the SPDSX for the drums, and like I was running all of our in-ear like click and stuff. And so I got really good at Ableton in my 20s and like doing playback rig. And in fact, I'm teaching a masterclass on it at ADE this year, specifically on playback rigs, because that was like MDing was like my secret life before this, right? So like the technology part of things I was always doing, just in a different genre. And then in 2018, I was like, why is our band paying producers? Like, I literally know my way around Ableton so well, like just doing playback stuff. Like, and I'm like, I must be the most annoying musician for these producers because I'm backseat driving the whole thing, right? So like, I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna like learn how to produce. And so that 2018 was when I was like, I'm my own producer. And then as a result, that's when BIIANCO started. So like I left the band. I mean, we just sort of like, I didn't leave. My bandmate is still one of my closest friends. They're like family, but like we just sort of like follow different trajectories.
Came to a natural end.
Exactly. So that's when BIIANCO started in 2018, and it was all around the discovery of me being a producer. It's so funny because I basically just circled the freaking drain on this. Like I was a classically trained pianist, and then that was like a natural like movement into synths and playing like different types of synths, and I really liked analog synths, and like the Prophet 6 was my go-to, and a Prophet 8 and stuff. And then I like loved drums, but drum pads. I loved bass. Like I was like playing all these instruments, but like you would have thought like dance music. But it didn't like quite click, maybe because I didn't like American dance music as much. And let me caveat that. I love Detroit techno. I love Chicago and Jersey house. I'm talking about like in the 2010s EDM, right? EDM, right? So we're talking like 2000.
We remember.
Yeah.
We remember what happened.
We try to forget.
Literally like that's
yeah, literally I remember.
Cascade. Literally. Yeah. So I was like, I think I was just so turned off by like what was happening in 2015 and 16 in American EDM that I didn't see what was happening around the world because I was in LA. So I was just like making like alternative electronic music, right? Indie electronic music as BIIANCO. And then during the pandemic in 2019, 2020, when it started, I was stuck in LA. And I was going to like these underground raves because that was the only thing that was happening that like was very not legal, probably. And all of a sudden I realized, wait, I love this music. I like it faster. I like it like a little bit more I like when everything is electronic. I like when I'm using only like a 909 drum palette. I started like only producing with specific drum machine palettes. So that the drums sounded consistent, and it was just such a natural progression. It honestly was Goldilocks. It was like that stuff is like a little too slow, and this is a little too pop leaning, and then it was like I kind of found dance music, which I know is so broad, but it was like this just right temperature, right everything. Then because I had such a background in making all different types of music, I literally used to produce like hip hop for people, like ghost producers. So I'm like, well, what kind of dance music do I like the best? And that coincided with me moving to London, which was the best decision artistically, because as I was finding my voice in dance music specifically, I was here and in Europe, like mainland Europe, and I was able to find like exactly what I liked the best in dance music.
Yeah, because you have such a broad knowledge of music, classical, hip hop. You were talking about learning to score films.
Yeah. So and also to get good at dance music in general, I was like reverse engineering different genres, right? So like that's why a lot of people will like listen to my Spotify and be like, wait, that's like such a house song, or that like I literally have an Armada track with like Carly Wilford and Lili that's like literally just piano, like Ibiza house, right? Well, because I was like reverse engineering, I was like teaching myself how to produce all different types of dance music with the hopes of landing on the genre, the sound that felt the most natural to me. And it worked.
And I feel like you have now found that because I feel like you hit your stride. This kind of, what did you call it earlier? Hard groove.
Hard groove,
that trance, I guess, a modern iteration in a kind of, it feels modern.
Yeah. So hard groove, I feel like it's, as a drummer, as someone who like loves drums, hard groove it's like fast BPMs, but more complex percussion than your typical techno. It's not just like hi-hats on the ups, right? Like there'll be like aux percussion going, like it's like it's like a fury of drums, right? But the trance element is because I can lean a bit more melodic. Like you can't get the classical pianist out of me. Sometimes and I think that's what makes it sound like speed trance, like hard trance, right? Is when there's like more melodic elements going, but there's like hard groove is like a more complex percussion than just a normal speedy techno, like Berlin techno, you know?
That makes sense.
Yeah. So like if it's like a non-melodic track, like it's a harder track, more of one of my club tracks, I would say it's hard groove, right? But like I Need You, that's trance. That's very
you got like an emo side, you know?
I'm so emo.
Like not only are you a hard nut on the outside, but really Bianco is a softie.
It's my Scorpio moon.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I'm a very passionate lover and very deep in like squishy center.
The perfect combo. And in terms of like trance and like noughties trance, I guess, like traditional trance, were you into that? Because that's obviously a very UK and like European thing as well. Like, were you into that at the time, or was that like did you discover that when you moved to the UK? Or?
I was into that, and I think it was because my sister is 5 years older than me, so she was like partying in New York City in the 90s, right? So like I grew up with a lot, and she also really liked like Eurodance. Like she was really into like Real McCoy and Ace of Base and like everything that came around that sound in like the 90s. And I just like idolized her. I wanted to like be everything she was. She was also she was like a big hip hop dancer. Like she was doing a lot of hip hop dancing at the time. So like all that Eurodance sound too, like in the genre, not the genre of music hip hop, but like the genre of dance, hip hop dance. It's like what we called it in America. But she would like always be dancing to like those types of songs. So I feel like I just like listened to a lot of it in the 90s. But as like a child, like looking up to her. But then I kind of like lost it for a while because I was so into jazz. And into like,
oh my God, another genre.
Well, because in college, you know, like in uni, that's like, oh my God, we are such jazz snobs.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, everyone in UCLA music is a jazz snob. I went to, in my year, I had Moses Sumney and Esty Hyam. I think she was the year ahead of me, but there was just like so many people in music who've like gone on to like shape really like complex genres of music, you know, like really like highbrow genres of music and stuff. And it's like, at the root of it, we all like really respect jazz, I guess.
Yeah. Fair play.
Also, we all got drunk and would play jazz together nonstop.
I love that.
I just feel like a revolving door of improv, which is kind of like going back to back.
Yeah. So what instruments do you play then?
So keys is probably my strongest. Basically, before the age of 18, I could play drums, keys, guitar, and sing.
My God.
And then bass came in my 20s. I really liked bass a lot.
So where did this come from? Like, are your family musical, or did you just pick this up one day?
Yeah, I've been recently diagnosed with, I've always been ADHD. Everybody knows I'm ADHD, but I've recently been diagnosed with autism. And I think that maybe I was just like always, that was like my autistic fixation. I was hyper fixated.
Sounds like it, babe.
Always. Like, it's honestly the only thing I ever wanted to do. Like, literally.
Just make music, play music.
You asked me when I was 4 years old, or you asked me when I'm 34 years old, and it was always the same answer.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. And then I think I had to just get better at it because I wasn't very good. So
I feel
like
like you're a
believe that.
perfectionist.
yeah.
Or are you?
I think I am a perfectionist now. It's been an acquired skill, I guess. But before I was just overly enthusiastic and maybe didn't always have the foundation, the practice foundation. I got embarrassed enough. So then I became a perfectionist.
It sounds like you have a very creative approach as well, like seeing
Yeah.
things differently and willing to like flip genres and
try
yeah,
stuff.
test things out.
If it didn't feel good, I didn't want to be the lead singer of a band. I also didn't want it to only revolve around my vocals, right? All the other genres, it's so reliant on vocals. And I felt like there was so much pressure for me to always be singing, and I hate singing.
You hate singing, but you do singing in your life.
I do sometimes,
A bit of singing.
Yeah. I mean, I can sing, right?
Mm.
It's just that singing is so, like, it's like you have to be in shape all the time. It's like wearing a bikini every day of your life, even when you're bloated and whatever. Like, it's really like your voice. You have to take care of your voice. You can't talk that much. You're like, and I've had vocal cord surgeries in the past, and I don't know. I feel so much pressure from singing. I love singing when it's like natural and fluid and so much fun and like I'm in the moment. I don't like the competitive nature of like fronting a band and having to have the best vocals ever. What can you do? How can you do it? And there's a lot of pressure on femmes to be amazing vocalists, and we don't put men to the same standards that we put femme vocalists to. You have to be an acrobat basically to be like, it's like Phoebe Bridgers is like the only person out there that has like a great, she's not pitchy, right? Like, but she's not like doing runs, like, but like that's like the only, can you think of another like huge musician that can't do a run? That's a woman that has a vagina.
You're right. I mean, this is interesting because when you compare like the live music space and like, I'm kind of referring to like pop here, but also like solo artists and popular music, should we say? And then dance music, obviously it's electronic, like you can make it on a computer or you can make it with synths. You can use your voice if you want, but you don't have to be the front person. And even when you put into the mix, like kind of your age and your identity, like dance music is a much more inclusive space for that because you can be DJing in your 50s. Look at Carl Cox in his 60s or Bless Madonna blew up when I think she was 40. Or you could be like 18 DJing at house parties at uni or in your bedroom. So I feel like did you feel that experience as well for someone transitioning from live to dance music? Was that appealing to you?
Yeah. I love that. I love how like I think also there's a sophistication to dance music, like because it's way less ego driven. I was saying this earlier to us before the podcast, but like there's with all of those genres of music, it's really about the musician creating it, right? Whereas like I guess not jazz, maybe not jazz, honestly, but it's like it's all about like, let me tell you my story. This is what I have to say. These are the emotions I'm feeling. Like it's like all very Taylor Swift, and I love Taylor Swift, but I mean like she's telling her story over and over again. Whereas with dance music, I'm literally trying to create a story that is everybody else's story. Like they're trying to experience, I want them to experience the song, right? So it's like less ego driven. I think as you get older and hopefully you get like a more like well-rounded view of the world and it's less egocentric, I think dance music feels like such a more welcoming place. It's a lot easier to get lost in it and like be a fan of it because it doesn't feel like you're being a fan of a lot of different people, egos, individuals. And it really becomes like it's the genre that's most like a mirror to the audience, which I love.
The whole point is to share music,
exactly,
and create a community. And originally, it was a space for people who felt disenfranchised by the world to come together and like just escape. You know?
And I like the sophistication of not being so obvious. Like I don't need to tell you exactly what you should take from this song. Like it leaves a little more to the imagination, which I love. But yeah, then I think I also just love like the actual. I think that the best concerts in the world are dance music concerts.
Really?
Yeah, because it's I just love how lost people get in it.
Do you think people don't get as lost in live music?
I think there's just so much focus in today's day and age on being a fan. like with pop music or hip hop and stuff and rock music, like it's like they get a lot more lost in the person that's on stage and the fandom.
So you think it's more about like buying into an artist almost in
Yes,
live music?
Kind of
exactly.
hero culture,
Hero
maybe.
culture, yeah. Whereas like with dance music, it's literally just like I had the most incredible experience at Club Rom in Amsterdam like 2 weeks ago when I was there for Mysteryland. And at one point, I just like Bashka was killing it. I just like took a video of the window and some woman came up to me and she's like, "You're not supposed to be filming in here. You're supposed to be in the moment." And I was like, "I know."
That's lovely.
I know, it was so lovely. And then I was like, I just love this place.
Was that like a Dutch woman whispering in your ear?
Yeah, I think yes, it was. She was very sweaty.
Oh.
It was like so sweaty, but it was like it is about like getting lost in the music. That's why like a lot at the best clubs in Europe, you like literally can't even see your hand in front of you. You know, so smoky and like dark in there, and it's really about like blocking out everything else and just being in the moment.
That's interesting. I mean, I agree. But on the flip,
yeah, flip
like
it.
when you bring social media into this, and then we definitely need to talk about this because like it's like I agree, but like on like when you think about how much has changed with the industry in every genre, but dance music included and especially as well, like that whole like chasing virality and getting views on your videos and building up your profile, seeing yourself as a brand, and how festivals and promoters and bookers are now looking to social media at followers and a lot of these things, sometimes more so than, oh, this person's actually really, really good, but they've got 5,000 followers and they're not viral versus someone who has. And obviously you are someone, you've put the fucking hours in, babe, I'm not going to deny that. And I rate you highly. And you are also someone who has gone viral. So I don't know, seeing it from that perspective too.
Yeah, so but I think the thing is that I went viral for making music.
True.
Right? So that I feel I don't know how I'm going to do this yet, but I'm telling you now, I'm putting this out there. Those DJs or musicians that are really, really good but really bad at music or at social media, I'm going to like I don't know, put a course out there so they can get better, because the truth is that like I look at social media as a tool to make a bunch of people know like, hey, if you like this, you'll like me. I'm good at this. Like, let's like come listen to my music or like come to my shows. You know, like it's a utility for reaching people I can't reach physically, and I don't have the money to advertise to. Right?
Yeah.
So it really like I try to look at it like that, which was why if I was ever gonna go viral, or if I was which I thankfully I did, but I wanted to do it for doing exactly what my brand is, which is making music and being a little mad scientist with knobs, you know? So that's like, I think there are a lot of people that go viral for things that have nothing to do with their artistry or what their DJ like career is going to sound like, what a set would be like, or what their music sounds like. And I think that's honestly, that's irrelevant. Like, I think these like, I mean, and honestly, I'm going to say it. There's so many American viral DJs that are like, they just have these like, I mean, I once saw one group like that went viral for like skiing with decks down a mountain and falling down, and like it's just like the dumbest shit ever. And their music honestly sounds like their freaking TikToks. Like, right? You're just like, it's so plastic. Everything about it is so plastic. But there is a way to make the depth or like the artistry shine through and like touch people. And I'm not even the only one that has like done that. My best friend in Los Angeles, totally different genre. Her name's Maya Manzer. She's like, I love her. I would take a bullet for her, but she did it for like indie electronic. She's like ended up signing with Arista Records, but she went massively viral for her voice, rightfully so. I mean, she used to be my voice teacher. That's like how amazing of a singer she is. But like, it's like really does, it can shine through, it can cut through the algorithm, and it's just persistence. You know, and I don't think that promoters choosing to book artists who have a bigger following online is necessarily a bad thing if you look at what they're posting and why they have a following?
Mm,
You know,
that's
like if
interesting.
Yeah, are they genuine fans?
yeah, is it genuine fandom? Because I honestly am so grateful to social media because I can like I see the hundreds of messages I get like in the art in my like hidden folder where it's like please play Berlin, please play Berlin, please play Berlin. I wouldn't people in Berlin wouldn't know who I was if it wasn't for social media, right? Like and now I'm about to like announce my first show in Berlin and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is so exciting." Like it does translate into actual people. But if it was like me skiing down a hill and falling down with Dex, I don't know.
Well, I would like to see that.
I love Stella Bossi, right? I think she's freaking hilarious, but like it doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily, it's like, do people go see a Stella Bossi set because they think her reels are so funny? You know, like do bookers book her because her reels are so funny or do they book her because she's a good DJ, right? I think she's freaking genius. She needs her own TV show, honestly. But like, that's like, I don't think that the culture of booking people that might have more fans because they have put in the hours to build the fan base online is a negative thing as long as they built the fan base for the music.
That's a really good point because I think some people will look at virality and like they might, because you went viral for the first time in November last year, and then it happened again
March,
in
and
March.
both the same type of video.
Okay, and that was you doing it live.
Yep.
You're
just looping and Ableton.
Against the Wall was the first track.
Yeah, and then
11:11.
Yep, with 11:11, and then Got Me Like.
Yeah, and then Got Me Like. And some people who might have just stumbled upon you from those videos or whatever, they a lot of people really think, well, it just happens overnight. So
No.
how did you do it? How did you go viral?
Oh my gosh. So
did it happen overnight?
No, but I did feel it shifting. Like, so I have been doing these videos since 2022, literally the beginning of 2022. I've been doing these videos. You will, if you really scroll back, like you will see like it used to be a lot more complex. There was like a lot more like, then I got better at dance music and I realized simplicity is the marker of the most sophisticated dance music productions. So like you could see even my loops got more like simple, like the parts I was playing, you know? But yeah, I've been doing it since early 2022. But in the summer of last year, when my best friend Maya went viral for that vocal thing, I don't know. I like had such a moment. Me and her were in Italy together. And I was like, I'm so like proud of you, but like in a way where you have like breathed new life into like my passion for social media. Like I think I was so like proud and also like there was like no envy, nothing negative at all. It was almost like a beautiful new like fire under my ass. Like it can happen, like you can do it, right? So I think there was more joy. I was putting more joy into what I was putting online. And I had more joy in the creation process from like last July on because I was watching my best friend experience like such an amazing thing. And I like think that change, it didn't feel arduous anymore. And I really think that like had a difference on the fabric of like the universe. No, like I don't know.
I mean, it
like,
felt tangible and possible.
And
right?
joyful. And there was like more joy in what I was doing. And it didn't feel like I mean, sometimes this feels like a job, but like that, I think that joy, I don't know. I just like was trying. And also because she had done it, she was like shorter videos. She gave me some tips and stuff. But yeah, it had been going on for a very long time. And then now after that, I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's my video type.
And when it did happen, you're like, oh, I'm onto something.
Oh, it happened so fast.
Because you've now got 237,000 followers as of today.
Yeah.
What did you have before you went viral?
Like 41.
Wow.
Wow.
So that's
1,000.
almost, yeah. So how, that must have been a lot.
Yeah. It was, it just happens so it's not just the act of going viral. So when you go viral for a song, right, for the music, it's an influx of every label under the sun, every major, like every not major. Thank God. Honestly, I'm so grateful for my manager, Abby. Like Abby Ghetto is the ride or die. That girl next to me through this was like, we were like, you know, like Odysseus and on the like in the Odyssey on her way, like trying to prolong it, trying to find the best place like for me to sign with, trying to navigate just like, oh God, neither of us had been there before, right? Like with that, there's extreme moments of like euphoria. So there's a lot of dopamine. It's like I took like a ton of drugs, right? And then there's this panic, this feeling of like, I have to make this last. It's actually happening. Like I remember when it was happening, like within the first 24 hours, I was at Rumble in Dalston, like doing a hit workout. I was just like, right, like in my mind, I'm like, right, okay, so like this is happening. How are you gonna make this like how are you gonna make the most out of this? How are you gonna make this like launch your whole career and like really move? And I just like, I wasn't even sleeping. I was like sleeping like 4 hours a night.
What, because you're on your phone?
Yeah, I was
replying
on my phone, replying. I was like working on all the art. I was like, I orchestrated this whole like live video that me and 1111 did. I did all like the backing stems and everything for it and like all the like Ableton programming. I was just like, we're going, like it's going. And then at the same, what you don't realize also is like, then all the labels are like, okay, well, what's the rest of the music, right? Like, so then I was just producing nonstop, like, so that I could show them what my body of work was, right? And it was really like such a whirlwind. There was one day where I was in LA. I had gone back to Los Angeles, and I like it was a second wave of virality happening that was even bigger than the first one. It was like November 15th or something. And that video was like just on Instagram. It's still like my most watched video. I think it's like almost near like 8 million views or something. But it was like just flying. And I was getting like 12,000 followers a day, right?
Wow.
Like off of it. I was just like so overwhelmed that I like turned my phone off and I built a dresser.
Do you think you got a little bit addicted to going viral in a way?
I did because, so listen, I'm new to dance music. Have seen my whole like life trajectory. I'm also new to London, new to the UK. Like I think those things make me like, maybe I appreciate you guys more like a little bit than somebody that like was here their whole lives, right? Like I've seen what dance music is in America, and I'm like, I'm never going back. Like, I mean, it's changing now. It's different. But like, I think that I'm in a lot of ways, I kind of just I jumped the line in a lot of ways. Like I hadn't been in this genre for very long, and I hadn't been in this place for very long. And I think I used it more as a vehicle to like show like, I might not have been doing this sound for very long, but it's really working, So I maybe felt like imposter syndrome, and that's what I was leaning on heavily, more than addicted to it. I definitely, I should care more now, but I don't really care that much about like whether I continue to go viral. I continue to monitor whether the songs are popping off on socials, because I feel like I can choose my next single based on the responses.
Yeah.
And I think that's a smart way to like get a litmus test. But I get addicted to the stage more.
At the end of the day as well, I guess everyone who makes music wants to see it resonate with people.
Yeah.
And I guess that's exactly what's happening, isn't it?
To be a performer is more addicting.
Yeah.
Like the euphoria you feel in front of a giant crowd is so much better than responding to thousands and thousands of comments. I mean, that shit gets dark.
I know which one I would rather do.
Yeah.
Actually, on comments, like I feel like when you're exposed to so many people, and the algorithm really can be wild and random as fuck. And I know we've spoken about this, like you obviously will receive great comments and followers, 12,000 a day, whatever. But also with that, it's just so much negativity out there online. I know you've had a lot of experiences. Do you want to share?
Oh, yeah. I'm so over men. And I'm going to say this, only men do this. Only men do this. I have never seen a single woman, femme, non-binary. I mean, that I can tell. I mean, like, we're talking like, I'm not like, are you cis man?
Face value.
Right, yeah, face value. Like, I've never had anyone that is not obviously a man comment on one of my videos and say, this is fake. You're not doing this. Like, this is, oh, I'm so over this. Like, I mean, I've had women be like, this is noise or whatever, like comment on the music, you know, like troll the music. But I've never had anything other than an obvious man say, why are you faking it? Why are you faking playing these things? This is blah, blah, blah. It's like, yo, if like I obviously quantized the bass line after I laid down the MIDI, like, you know, like I might not be exactly on time. Like, it's just so frustrating. These like basement men, they're in their basements being like, I know better than you. I literally, the funniest is the most recent like little loop I did for Touch My Body, the Marlon Hofstadt song. I have really gotten into sequencing and playing modular stuff, and I like do it live. I mean, you've seen me do it.
Great.
I'm like literally made that sequence, actually made it, and it took it took a minute. It was like a couple hours to get that video, and they're like, "This is so fake," and I'm like, "You literally do not know the like equipment I'm playing
the
on."
first thing about
it's
it, you're
literally
just
a sequencer. It's
Yeah.
actually that is what it's made for. Like, so the people who like imagine having the audacity, like you don't even know what the instrument is, but you just have the confidence to be like, it's not real. Like, imagine not even knowing the sequencer. Like, I think it's so funny. I just don't understand the motivation.
Do you think it's jealousy, boredom?
I think there's two types of psychologies that are going on. I think when I get really cruel, like when I posted in the bikini and stuff, like I think that the men who called me a whale, fat, all these things, I think they're doing it to provoke a reaction. And that saying something really horrific, like they just want attention, right? So like maybe they don't think that necessarily, but they are going to say the most horrible thing so that you respond to them, so that because they're so bored and
insecure. I think it comes from massive insecurity as well.
So, and then I think that there is the arrogance of trying. It's like that guy or girl, whoever in the room who wants to play devil's advocate all the time. That one that's like just trying to. That's their way of engaging online to like poke fun or just like poke holes in things. And like, I think there's that one at least comes from an insecurity, but also curiosity. The other one is literally just like provocation. And in a way, it's kind of like verbal violence, you know? It's like nagging.
But it's like, what more could you really be doing? And what you said earlier about like female and like femme pop stars like needing to have this amazing voice and like this double standard, and like I've noticed actually on a lot of, let's just call them cis male DJs, a lot of the comments are like just so positive. Love that, bro.
God tier.
God tier. Yeah. Like bros bringing up bros. Like they're not saying whale, that's fake. Oh yeah, you're not doing that live. Like I genuinely, actually, this is one of my toxic traits, is like comparing comments sections in the genders and in the like identity groups. Like, I'm just saying, it's wild.
It's wild, especially with the body stuff. Like, I literally just posted that first video in my bikini because it was so hot in London that day, and y'all don't have air conditioning in this in this country now.
No.
And so I was literally sweating so much in my studio, and I'm like, whatever, it's summer. And also, I think the whole world was like having a heat wave that week, and I was like, maybe something summery will like work with the algorithm, like thinking about it like that, like something summery.
You don't have to justify yourself.
But
by the way,
it's so interesting to see how if a guy posted in his like swimming trunks, like how differently that would be received online than like femme posting in a bikini. It's wild. It's like, my body's not offensive. I don't understand. Like, nobody's body is offensive. Like, your body's not, and it's not offending anyone. Like, it's literally just existing. And the person who's apparently offended is like, has the same body. And I think the concept of a body offending someone is so strange. It's like such a strange thing to think about, but that men never have to deal with that. They have their shirts off all the time. I think half the techno DJs don't wear shirts.
Yeah. But also like the fact that some people just can't believe that that you could actually be making that. Like
Yeah.
there's almost like, because we live in this patriarchal world, and even if they don't realize, it's already like the default is to just be like, well, that can't be real.
Yeah.
That can't be real.
Yeah. They can't accept it.
Like, why can't you be in a bikini in your studio playing synths, drumming, like playing out modular sounds you've made? Like, why is that not? I don't.
People aren't used to seeing it, I guess. I honestly, I have no idea.
I ignore them and keep going.
Yeah.
Ignore them.
It's complex. I think that the younger generations are getting better. The world's getting better.
It is.
We'll leave it on that note, because I'm like, I truly believe the world is getting better. That Gen Z is going to save us all.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's
positive.
Good. We have hope. We have hope. I mean, in terms of like thoughts on the scene right now,
Mm-hmm.
I know you said you're fairly new to it, but you've been around for a bit and you've seen, like, it's been a very, very interesting time, like post-COVID, and obviously you moving to the UK and like just getting stuck in with so many things. Like, yeah. And I feel like there's just so many things, so many different sounds happening. Like, and with like the influx of social media, I don't know, do you have any thoughts on where we're at?
Yeah, I do actually. It's been so interesting to see that the UK has, and I love this about it. It's so complex, but you guys have two like rivers of like types of dance music and like artists that are coexisting. You have like your big main stage artists that will like they'll have a whole drum sheds night in their name, right? And then you have these like body movements type art, like DJs that like can still sell out a festival, and it's like so community driven, it's so art focused and everything. And it's really interesting to see how the two scenes don't really overlap at all. I don't see them like overlap. I think that's been really interesting, because it would be great to see because all of the people that are the main stage people are so influenced by your like massive underground people, right? Like, and it would be so great to see I guess that it wouldn't be the underground anymore. Start to have like those big ass billings and stuff, like the people that are the influencers. But I think it's been, I like the artists that don't water down to be played on the radio. I like the artists that like are really genuine to their sounds and stuff. And I mean, you champion them. That is.
I do.
You do.
I do.
It's really, I am very optimistic, because I've recently been seeing a lot in the past, like I think post-pandemic, you've been seeing artists that have gotten massive for very unique sounds. Like hard techno is main stage again.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's so exciting. I think that's probably because of social media, because it's not just the radio, and playlisting isn't gatekeeping everything anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope that boutique festivals and clubs can continue to make money. I know that it's really hard in the UK and around the world right now, and that's like where the underground comes from, So I'm just like, I hope that like there can be a middle ground found where it's not, all the drum sheds are not going to gobble up all of like the great boutique festivals that like make the UK music scene so vibrant.
Yeah, we need all the small clubs to keep staying open.
Yeah.
It's hard right now in the UK. Like, things are so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Clubs are closing. As someone who runs a club night that's very small and still emerging, like, it is very, very hard. But we can't stop.
No.
But there is a real, it's a really weird time.
Yeah. It feels like things are like settling, like in the process before, like it feels like it hits a new like stability moment. It's like definitely like the sand has been poured down, and where's it all going to settle?
The chaotic era.
Yeah,
to quote Three Body Problem, which is my new favorite sci-fi series.
We're in the chaotic era.
Okay, so we should probably mention it. We mentioned it at the top of the show about you wearing an eye patch and just your disability in your eye.
I mean, I'm blind in my right eye. I still get light through it. And when I'm DJing or in a low light club, I have to wear an eye patch. I guess I could get a contact that blocks out the vision as well, but my eye is so scarred that I can't put anything in it, so I can't wear the contact. It's wild how many drunk people make fun of me for wearing an eye patch.
Do they?
Yeah, they're
in the club.
Like, "Arg, a pirate."
No. So what was the eye patch? Was it literally just like when it happened?
Oh God, if you had seen my eye, it looked like I was a White Walker from Game of Thrones. It was so gross.
Wait, do you want to tell us how you went?
Yeah,
blind
I got a pesticide in my eye, a pesticide that's not legal in the UK or Europe, so don't worry, nobody panic. But it is in America. But yeah, I got it in my eye, and it melted my cornea, and into like the ball of my eye. It was the most. I've never felt pain like that, and hope I will never feel pain like that again. There's nothing worse than like your eye. There's nothing that could ever hurt worse than your eye melting on the inside.
Melting as well.
Wow.
Oh, it was terrible. But it looks so gross that I went right back to gigging right afterwards, and I was wearing the eye patch because the eye like was so light sensitive and everything, and now it's stabilized, but the vision is really messy. So I have to, if it's bright lights, strobing, anything red lights are the worst. So like driving at night, like tail lights is the worst. I have to wear an eye patch.
How was it like relearning how to do your live set?
It's actually really difficult, honestly. That I especially if I play the drums, I can't see this hand. Like if I have an eye patch on, I literally can't see this hand, like my right hand. So I notice like when I play the drums, I like turn my head to the side. So if I'm hitting like with my right hand, I think DJing, I've recently got in like where I'm like, damn, I'm ripping. Like, but it took a lot longer because it's just you're thinking when you're DJing really well, and like especially at a BPM that high, like I spin at 150 usually, sometimes above, it's like your transitions are so fast, they're so mechanical, and you just have to really be in a flow, but you're like dealing with half of the field of vision. So you have to like be your skill. I probably rehearsed a lot more than most DJs. Now I don't need to as much because I'm so comfortable, but like I rehearsed a lot so that I could perform those because I have less vision, so I have to just know where it is.
Have you found that like club spaces and festivals have been accommodating to like the lights? And
No. So my rider, my team, like whoever's advancing for me, like they have to like send my rider like 3 times, like please provide like a small light. Like I think the only time I've ever like lost my temper, and I wouldn't say lost my temper, but it was Village Underground. It was very dark in there, and I literally couldn't see the decks at all. And I was just like, you have to, I'm like, my rider has a small light. You have to get me a small light. Like,
Fair enough, so you can do your job.
I literally can't see the EQ knobs, and I have an eye patch on, but they did. So they were great.
Underground.
But like, that was like one of the times where it was like, I was already, the first 6 minutes of my set were really fast. I was probably playing tracks for only like a minute each, right? Or like 45 seconds with like really fast transitions. And I was just like so pissed because I couldn't see the fucking like the knobs on the EQ. It was so frustrating. But yeah, that festivals are, clubs, not so much. I guess I could just bring a little lamp with me, but that's annoying.
You shouldn't have to either.
Do you have any advice for anyone who might be struggling because of a disability in music?
Yeah. It's be loud about what you need and don't be embarrassed about it. And honestly, know that like you're probably so much better than your peers because you have to be in order to like even go shoulder to shoulder with them. It's really been, I said this earlier, but becoming disabled, because it's also like I see it in myself too, like my eye, it goes lazy sometimes, like, or even today I was like looking at my new music video, but this eye's so blurry, so I had to like cover it just to watch the video and like see it. And those are the moments where I'm like, oh, this is so like frustrating, and like it can cause like a lot of grief to come up. But honestly, like I think that there's so many people out there that are disabled too, that like it just know you're a part of a fabric of a community, right? There's like a lot of people, honestly, like go find them on social media. Like there's a lot of people that will like look up to your story and stuff, and you shouldn't like hide it. But it holds space for yourself emotionally, I guess, because it can be really frustrating. Especially like when I like look at pictures and like my eyes like like going off in a weird
Oh my
direction. I'm like,
God.
I am Tom York now. Hello.
So will your sight ever come back? Do you know? It might not.
I think I need a corneal transplant. So
You can do that.
yeah, someone will die and then give me their cornea, and then
Oh my
they'll
God.
put it
Wow.
on. But I mean, honestly, there's a lot of side effects to that too. So I don't know. I have my other eye, I guess. There are way worse disabilities. Honestly, it makes me grateful for my body, because there's way worse disabilities to have. But and I love seeing all the people on social media when they're like, I'm blind in one eye. I'm like, yeah. Like people will always like comment that and stuff, and it's like a cute little camaraderie.
Yeah, I mean, I think like disability in music is something that's like hugely under
Yeah.
talked about, represented. It's something I'd love to like be more aware of and across.
Yeah.
I think accessibility for club goers as well is something that doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, like they don't even have eye patches in the medical kits. Like if you went up to them and you're like, "Can you put like there's nothing, like there's no support system really. It's just for people ODing."
God.
Yeah.
Or injured, right? Like there should be like accessibility like stations and stuff. I did see that a lot more when I was touring in Australia though.
Really?
Yeah. The festival I played was like had like a whole like a very very robust medical tent and stuff that was just like also just wellness tent, which was nice.
That's good to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're coming towards the end,
Oh.
which is so sad. This has been so fun. Just a bit about you. Like you say, you're working on an album. You've got loads of music, I know.
Yeah.
So is that the plan?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm making so much music. I feel like I definitely hit my stride. Like, I know exactly what my sound is. And it's so easy to write and produce from that, because it's like a painter that's like using very specific paints, you know? So I've just been like, I'm the kind of producer now where I'm like, oh, this is missing from my set, and I'll just make it that morning.
You literally do. You literally message me like every day. It'll be something else you've made.
So there's just so much volume, and my label and I are like just scheduling it all to come out and stuff. So basically, we have a full length. We'll be doing like singles throughout this year and stuff, and then working towards that. But yeah, it's also been really exciting because I've been able to like Marlon has been such an exciting collaboration, but now it's like I'm talking about to these other artists that are like I also look up to that much, and it's just gotten like the world has opened up a bit, you know, and it's really exciting because I just can't wait to show you who I'm working with and stuff like that. It's really exciting.
Any spoilers?
No, I can't.
Little exclusive.
I can't give any spoilers, but I mean, I'll just say it's all like. I really love everybody that's at the top of that genre right now. And it's just like, yeah.
I'm very excited to hear it.
Yeah, me too. Bianco, thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So much. We have one final question.
Ooh.
And we ask everybody this. Your utopia, what is it? Take us there.
Oh, God. I mean, I live my entire life from like stage moment to stage moment. I think my utopia would be like, when you're like a third of the way through your set and you've done a few things that like even surprised you. There's been like a few transitions where you're like, fuck, that was so good. Like that was like, I'm ripping, right? Like, and you're like then your confidence is up, and then you're like taking risks and stuff. And around that time is usually when I like bring in like my actual analog acid bass. And the look especially on the men's faces. They're all like, wait, what's that? Like they all like, I just love, that's like my joy. Like that's like those moments I'm like, I could like die right now. That's like the best moment when I'm like blending real like acid into a track. I just love that. That's like, I just wish I could play in a back to back to back to back to back for the rest of my life.
That is a great
My
one.
heaven would be a rave with all of you guys there, and we're just like literally all drunkenly back to backing.
Oh my God. I mean, I did a back to back with Meg Ward on Saturday. We did 6 hours and it ended, and I was like, I need 6 more.
Yes.
I need 12 more.
I know.
So fun.
The first time me and you hung out in the park, and I was like, why don't we all just like hang out at each other's houses and back to pregame to go out? And
we still haven't done that, so we need to do that.
We need to do that. We need to bring that culture to London where we just like all have back to hangs. We're sessions, but with less creature behavior.
We're civilized now.
Yeah.
Bianco, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And good luck with everything. We love you.
Yeah.
And we'll see you soon.
We love you.
Thank you.
Yay.